Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and I'm back with an interesting kind of video. This was originally meant to be one thing, became another thing. Art is beautiful, art is truth, John Donne, all that kind of rubbish. What I'm trying to say is that this is not the video I set out to make. It is, in fact, though, the video you're going to get. This is the Object 263, and it is raw damage per minute power coupled with incredibly troll armor. I wanted to make a how to play from the front line video, and I realized that it's just so complex. There are just so many different moving parts to it. I thought, in fact, I'd actually put a video together about how to survive in close, tough situations where you're on very, very low hit points, and that would be one aspect of it, and how to play as a bully tank, and that would be one aspect of it, and how to play as a raw DPM burn 'em down kind of machine, and that would be one aspect of it. And this is the raw crazy DPM side of stuff, coupled with a few bits of more nuanced gameplay that you're going to see as we roll forward here. And look, this is one of my very favourite tanks. I'll get that out of the way straight up and down. I adore this tank. I think it is an absolute barn burner. But I have had a lot of people who've come to me and said, I don't know how to play this tank, or I really don't like the tank, or it doesn't seem to bounce any shots for me. And I've gone back and looked at the way that I play it. And of all the tanks that I play, this is one of the most aggressive tanks for me. And I think what it comes down to is you have to really be able to pick your targets. And I realize that I don't actually just drive up to full hit point tanks all the time. What I will do is look for tanks that I can do very, very nice hit point trades with, where I can maybe get 3 shots into one and 3 shots will kill them. And those kind of things. Like this FV4202, tanks with weak spots. The FV, for instance, doesn't have any premium ammunition, and I've got spaced armor on the top of this tank, so if I face hugging, he's going to have a very, very tough time penning me, and I can be very, very aggressive and do 3 or 4k or whatever. But you can't just roll around running straight up to everyone. It's raw power, it's got great speed, it's got great gun. If I had to pick one TD to drive at tier 10, this would be it for me. But by saying that, it doesn't work for lots and lots of people. Really doesn't work for them. You can see the insides of the cabin there. It's got no roof. Like, there is dust coming up from the tracks, and you've got no side armor. And, you know, you're a non-turreted TD, so you will often be exposed in a way that you can't be in a turreted TD. And yet, you can see how aggressively I'm going to drive this thing. Because I really know my maps well, right? I know that there are certain positions on certain maps you can go to, and I've got cover all along the left here. I don't have to worry about being hit on the left. He's backed off. I'm counting tanks. I'm realizing where they'll be. There's got to be someone coming up on the right. There's the Leo, and I've pushed out. But then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull back. And that's the key. I do take a backward step in this tank. I don't just sit still and face whoever's in front of me and put shots into them. I will quite often relocate and bugger off. It's just that I find it to be a tremendous tank for pushing into a target and dropping hurt on them. And why, you may ask, is that the case? Well, the answer is very, very simple. As a tank, it's got a couple of things going for it that are just mind-bogglingly good. Generally, when you've got a tank, you'll have 1 or 2 different characteristics where it will excel, and then you'll have a lot of stuff where it struggles. With the Object 263, you get a couple of really, really big ticks in the box. A couple of things that are just absolutely insane. One of them is your damage per minute. You're doing 4,000 damage per minute running rammer and double rations. That is a huge number. And you're doing it with an armor profile that is absolutely fantastic. Now, your lower glacis is very big, and you can be penned through your lower glacis. So hide your lower glacis. It's like any tank in the game. You all have very, very weak lower glacis. I mean, the AMX-50B is one of the few tanks in the game where your lower glacis is probably just about your strongest bit of armor compared to your turret. This tank has a really strong mantlet, or rather a really strong upper glacis and area either side of the gun. It's also got incredible mobility for a non-turreted TD, and you can see just how effective that mobility can be. I can see the FE4202 is there. He's in trouble. The 15B and him are having a tete. I've been in this very, very aggressive spot the whole game, but I know the 15B will hold the 4202 there. That means that the 15B is in danger of the T30, so that's exactly who I look for, and the T30 is waiting around that side. So I'm going to push around here and then get stuck into the T30 and get stuck in quite hard and quite aggressively. We put 429 in there. We'll probably switch up to HE and absolutely spank the back of his American tank with high explosive for 657. Love the 120mm on this. So you've got an excellent gun too. This tank has a brilliant gun. It has a brilliant armor profile. It has brilliant mobility, and it has brilliant damage per minute numbers. That's a lot of really high-end stuff on one tank. And you can make that into a superb tank, a tank that can really do the business. Now I'm going to show you one more game in this thing, and I want to speak to something. I've had people who've whinged at me about this tank and said, I played it like you played it and I died, and that sucks, you know, you don't understand, all this kind of thing. That's grand, I get it. It's not going to guarantee you a win just because you drive it. You still have to have some kind of ability to play the game and some kind of situational awareness. For instance, I come around this corner. I don't just stop at the base of the hill and shoot. I push all the way around here so that I then have cover after I fire my first shot, and that I'm not just stuck in a corner. And lo and behold, that's probably the reason that I do so well in this game. I'm firing from a different position than most people who come around that corner at the bottom and just put a shot in. And you can see I'm immediately now hull down versus this Grille. He cannot see my lower glacis when we hit him for 530 with high explosive. And we missed that shot. I think it went into the edge of the rock. And because we're hull down, we're using that very, very strong armor profile, and we're able to bounce a shot and then put a really key shot in, get a bit of a burn going on the M48, and move back. And I'm in a really good position here. I've got 3 tanks in front of me. I've got Ace of Spades is over there behind me in the grill. And we're doing the business here holding the flank. I'm going to push up here just a little bit. Now this is being aggressive. This is a non-turreted TD. Despite the fact that I'm not actually sitting right up in front of them, I would consider this to be a very aggressive position. I'm pushing into multiple red tanks. And I'm looking for a shot in the side of that Jagdpanzer 100. Don't have a turret. Very, very tough to get the shot. And he's gone by the time I get across there, and the rock doesn't let me traverse across. We put one into the 54, who is completely oblivious to what's going on around him. And then we're moving onwards and upwards. And what I love about this game in particular is it showcases how you can work from the outside in. And you can rely on the gun. The long-range gun is just dim dandy. You can rely on that gun, and you can rely on going hull down and using the armor profile. And then when things go really south, you can just pick up and burn stuff. And that's exactly what's going to go on here. Ace of Spades has gone down in the grill. I was in a really tough situation there. I couldn't cover both sides, and I had to kill that Jagdpanzer 100. We're just going to put an AP round straight through the top of this IS-7. Very, very strong gun. Very, very quick. And it's now me versus 2. I've got an IS-4, and I can see there is someone in the cap circle. Or rather, me versus 2, but there's a Leopard PTA there. The PTA must know that there is someone in that cap circle, because I just saw it go off. But he's going to push around at the side. Now, you might note I am on the NA server. Obviously, I've got nearly 300 ping. And the E75 is moving up on the left, the Fury guy there. This is where the object was born to perform. You can see I'm going to have a crack at the IS-4. He just gets around that corner. The E75 is there. I've now got 2 big, nasty, heavy tanks in front of me. Take one from the E75, return fire very, very quickly, angle up straight away. Now, the angling is absolutely key. You've got to angle in this thing. Look at the amount of damage I'm pumping out here. the E75 is going to push up. We switch to APCR for this whole encounter because we really want to make sure that we are taking everything and making every post a winner. We angle again to the 75, take one in the side. We over-angled, but we've already reloaded. Another one in the side of the IS-4, angling again. Don't get hit. We're going to switch to HE, hit the E75 on the very, very top of the hatch with our very, very accurate Russian gun, finish him up, and then all we have to do is nut the IS-4 again. Another bounce right around that gun mantlet. Now you're going to get a lot of damaged guns because that seems to be the only weak spot on the tank. And we finish the IS-4 off. Give him the shot at the lower glacis. That's all right. We will take the win. That's how you play the 263. Start with the easy stuff. Pay attention. Move from the outsides in. And then when it gets down to the vinegar strokes, the nitty gritty where things get really nasty, then you can burn things. You can drop adrenaline, go to APCR, and just absolutely burn DPM. I mean, you're looking at a situation like that with adrenaline on, where you can put out 4,500 damage per minute, and you've only got probably, I don't know, 2,000 damage to do in front of you. And you get in a situation like that, the tank is incredibly effective. I mean, it just eats away at them so quickly. It causes panic. It causes them to be very, very concerned with their hit point pool. They don't know whether to back off, be aggressive. They want a hit point trade, but your lower glacis is hidden, so there are no guaranteed pens. I mean, these are the kind of things you need to learn to do. It is not a guaranteed win. This tank will never be that. No tank in the game is a guaranteed win. If you play it like a potato, you will get a potato's worth of performance out of it. You have to actually use your brain and not treat it like it's absolutely invincible. It works fantastically in a platoon with a tank like an AMX 50B. You might have seen Ace of Spades earlier on in the AMX 50B. We dropped a heap of short clip damage from him, followed up by me doing 3 or 4 really quick shots, and that'll just burn anyone down. Anyway, that's the Object 263, raw power, the Tower of Power, the Russian demigod. God, I love this tank. If you have troubles playing it, please refer back to that last game and look how much thought and care went into it. How I did not just take the first shot available, I went and found myself a nice, cozy position where I could hide my lower glacis, and then at the end of the game I did exactly the same thing and hid my lower glacis behind the debris and forced them to be in front of me. If you can keep them in front of you, if you can keep your lower glacis hidden, you're better than even odds of beating anyone in any tank that is in the game. Until next time, boys and girls, look after yourselves, stay safe in the battlefield, and be nice to your mum. Bye for now.